At this time, we're going to bring out Miss Caitlin Brewster, who's going to bring the welcome. Following her will be Miss Candace Williams with the occasion and a special performance by Miss Carissa Walker.
Good afternoon, everyone. On, on behalf of Congressman Hank Johnson, I want to welcome you to the 2025 Trailblazer Awards in honor of Women's History Month. Thank you all for being here today as we celebrate the remarkable women who have made a lasting impact in our communities, breaking barriers and paving ways for future generations. As we honor these extraordinary women today, I'd like to share a powerful quote by Amanda Gorman. There is always light, if only you're brave enough to see it, if only you're brave enough to be it. With that in mind, please join me in standing and applauding the trailblazing women of 2025, the light that inspires us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin. Good afternoon, everyone. We are here on this exciting occasion to pour honor on trailblazing women in our great district. Women that are needed more now than any time in modern day history. When women who have cracked and broken glass ceilings in their respective professions. Without women like you, women like me would not be here today. Being a woman, and even more so a black woman, comes with its own obstacles, both seen and unseen. Whether you work in fast food or you're president of a company, we know you must work twice as hard, and sometimes you only get half as far. Most of you in this room are the first doctor, the first lawyer, the first educator, the first business owner, the first to go to college, the first black woman at your college. Being the first comes with tremendous responsibility. You must carry both dignity and humility while possessing competence and confidence. As women, we know that this feat is not always so easy to juggle. As we celebrate your accomplishments, we hold reverence to the people who that supported you behind the scenes to help get you to where you are now. Someone, somewhere, believed in you, sacrificed for you, mentored you, and loved you. And because of them, they gave the gift of you. Let us all aspire to be just like them while raising up many more trailblazing women like the ones we're celebrating here today. Happy Women's Month, everyone.
What an amazing performance. Thank you very much, Congressman, for allowing me to be a part of this program again, Eric, and everybody else had anything to do with it. I'm so honored because this is probably my seventh or eighth time being on this program. And so, a lot of times people don't invite you back to their house. So to get invited back. There's some amazing quotes that I love. One is a quote by Dr. Dorothy Height that says, "Black women seldom do what they want to, but they always do what they have to." It's a powerful quote. Dr. Janetta Cole once said, "You can educate a man, you educate an individual. You educate a woman, you educate a nation." Powerful quote. Dr. Yusef Ben Jakanen says, "She's dipped in chocolate, she's bronzed in elegance, enameled in grace, toasted in beauty, my Lord. She must be a black woman." Eleanor Roosevelt had to be talking about two sisters when she said, "A woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until you put her in hot water." Strong women wear their pain like they wear their stilettos. No matter how much they hurt, you still only see the beauty in them. You all, and I don't know how the congressman and his team every year seems to find more its, more women who have that it character. And so this poem is simply entitled "It." When she walked into the room, there was something very special about her, something really unique. Not the kind of special you see a stranger. You see, she has what we would call it. And her it is extraordinary. It's got us tripping, I must admit. What is it? Well, I'm glad you asked. But let me suggest something, fellas. If you ever see it and it's available, do yourself a favor and like the comments. So make her your wife. You see, it is confidence. It's an air. It is pride. It knows how to handle adversity. It takes things in stride. Now I'm talking about it. It cannot be inherited, nor is it willed, and it's not genetic. Just because your mother had it doesn't mean that it will grace you. I promise you, I've seen some ladies who thought they had it and they didn't have a clue. Now I'm still talking about it. It knows when to speak and it knows when not to say a word. It is like Godiva chocolate. You see, it is preferred. It knows which fork to use. It frequents plays. It doesn't raise hell. Instead, it chooses to pray. You see, when she smiles, you see it. When she laughs, you hear it. When she tells you something, you believe it. When she hurts, you feel it. When she dances, or you want to move with it. You see, a man wants to love it. He wants to hold it. He wants to cherish it. He wants to protect it. Every man knows his life is incomplete without it. You see, for it, she's the prototype. It's like she doesn't walk, she glides, and around it is its light now. You can't find it in a special section of the store. You can't order it offline. And trust me, there'll be no articles from the press. But one thing for sure, it sure knows how to wear that little black dress. It can be defined by height, age, shape, color, size, or any of those things. It could be single divorce. It might be wearing a ring. You see, it is all or none. You can't have just a little bit of it. It is classy, sophisticated, and elegant. You can tell the way it stands or the way it sits. Now, how many ladies in here believe they have it? Raise your hands. Put your hands down because they cannot be claimed. It is on board. It doesn't even know it has it. It is just that plain. Now, there's no classes seminar you can take for it, and you can't study it in the manual. It is not a membership-based club. You can't pledge for it, and there's no fees to renew it annually. It is a lot of things, but it gives more than it takes. Well, all that it is one thing, you can't fake it. And let me just tell you, you can never make an ain't in it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I am honored to be here, but I could not come and not ask you to put your hands together for my beautiful, lovely wife. Her name is Aria. So instead of me playing one more selection, I'm just going to ask her to do a selection for you.
My eyes ain't used to these rays. I'm feeling exposed, but I can't hide no more. I can't hide. As the sun shines on all of my glory, my flaws don't look so bad at all. What was I so afraid of? Every part of me is a vision of a portrait of Mona Lisa. Every part of me is beautiful, and I finally see I'm a work of art, a masterpiece. Oh, 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 oh. Who is this I've tried so long to fight, filling my head with lies that I'm not good enough? Then I heard something in my ear tell me I'm perfect. Now that I know the truth, time to show and prove that every part of me is a vision of a portrait of Mona Lisa. Every part of me is beautiful, and I finally see I'm a work of art, a masterpiece. Oh, 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 oh. Now I see the pretty colors on my canvas. I'm a work of art, a Mona Lisa. I'll share my picture with the world. I'm not afraid to let it show anymore. Oh, I can light the night, shine so bright, shine so bright. Let my colors paint the sky. There is beauty in my eye. Oh, and I can see it now, and I believe it now, and I can feel it now. Oh, don't you know you are beautiful? Can't you see you are beautiful? You should know you are beautiful. Don't you see you are beautiful? Every part of me is a vision of a portrait of Mona Lisa. Every part of me is beautiful, and I finally see I'm a work of art. I'm a masterpiece.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl with a heart full of dreams. She didn't know where things.
Her heart wanted to do so much, and it took her places What a privilege it is to be here today, surrounded by so many inspiring women, women who are making history in their own right. Women's History Month is a time to honor the past, celebrate the present, and inspire the future. The women we recognize today have not only blazed trails in their industries, but have also inspired, mentored, and uplifted those around them, including members of our own office. Their dedication, resilience, and leadership have shaped the careers and lives of so many. But we wouldn't be here without a leader who truly understands the importance of recognizing and uplifting those who make a difference. Congressman Hank Johnson has long been a champion for equality, justice, and progress. Whether advocating for women's rights, small business support, or economic opportunity, he has remained steadfast in his mission to ensure that every person, especially the trailblazers in this room, has the chance to thrive. His work in Congress, in our communities, and across the country has been driven by the belief that when women rise, we all rise. It is my great honor to welcome a leader who stands with us in celebration of today's honorees, who not only recognizes trailblazers, but works tirelessly to uplift them. Please join me in welcoming Congressman Hank Johnson.
Hello, everybody. My instructions are that I'm going to remain down here. Kathy Register, the district director, will join me, and we will dispense with the awards. And thereafter, I will have a few words. Amen. Where's that now? I can have my words now. Okay. It's always good to get permission, right? I'm looking around here today, and I want to first welcome everybody to the Lou Walker Center, and I want to thank the folks at the Lou Walker Center for making this facility available to us. And then as I look around the room, I see so many women who have been influential in who I am today. And so I want to thank all of you for being here. And, we do this Trailblazer Award ceremony in February of each year as a part of Women's Month, which I said March. Still, time is passing so quickly. But March is Women's History Month. And so in preparing my thoughts for today, I looked up Women's History Month, and it's an annual observance to highlight the contributions of women to events in history and contemporary society. And it's been celebrated in the United States since 1987. So prior to 1987, we did not have a Women's History Month. We had a Women's History Day, however. But then there was a woman named, hold on for 1 second. Yeah, her name was Laura X. Anybody ever heard of Laura X? So when I Googled Laura X, because Laura X founded, she wasn't happy with the fact that it was just 1 day a year for more than 50% of the people in America. And then you set aside 1 day to honor those folks, women. She was a women's activist, uh, women's rights advocate, Laura X. She was born Laura Rand Orthwein, and she later changed her name to Laura Shaw Murrah. And then after that, she decided to drop the last name and just call herself Laura X because she admired the fact that, like Malcolm X, I don't want to have my owner's name either. So, in other words, raping their spouse, the spouse didn't have a right to claim that I was raped by my spouse because he is my spouse, regardless of whether or not we're separated or not. It this man could not be prosecuted, and so in 1979, can you believe that? California was the first state to make marital rape a crime, 1979, and since then, 45 other state campaigns on marital rape and date rape have taken place across the country to remove those exemptions. So, in other words, women were the property, have been the property of men pretty much throughout history. We didn't know that y'all were free. And y'all have always done what you do right now, which is to lead. And so Women's History Month is, is pretty much a misnomer. It's Women's History Day every day of the year. And if you did not know that before, and if you still don't know it, then I want you to go talk to my wife, Commissioner Marita Davis Johnson. And by the way, y'all give it up for my wife of 45 years, Marita Davis Johnson. Things have changed, gentlemen, and I don't want to be in the doghouse. So at this time, I think we're going to, so I want to thank all of the women for being here, and want to congratulate all of the honorees, and we'll start at this time with the awards. So I'd be catching it from all of the women all of the time, man. Women on the job, women at home, you know.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our first honoree is Miss Jackie Davis. Miss Davis.
Jackie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Jackie Davis is a graduate of Tennessee State University and has been an arts and entertainment executive for more than 35 years. She's a founding owner of the Universal Circus, which earned a 1998 Emmys nomination for the HBO TV special. In 1982, Ms. Davis was part of Mayor Andrew Young's transition team, and it was Ms. Davis' introduction to Atlanta. It led to many roles, one as an administrator and the manager of the performing arts for the Atlanta Bureau of Cultural Affairs, which included production of the Atlanta Jazz Festival and the Montreal Music Festival. Ms. Davis served as the interim director at the Atlantic Civic Center and more recently as vice chair of the DeKalb County Board of Health. Ms. Davis' interests are in the arts, and it started when she was in high school as a member of a recording artist, BC&M Choir, which earned a Grammy nomination for the rendition of My Sweet Lord. The choir performed TV specials with Carol Burnett, Dolly Parton, and Johnny Cash. Miss Jackie Davis.
Thank you. I really appreciate this award. It has been a long journey, but it has been because of my friends, my family, and my mentors that I have been able to make it to this point. And also, it has been because of my foes that I have learned many valuable life lessons. At this point in my life, what I would like to do, I would like to be able to help other women and young men achieve their dreams.
Thank you, Jackie. And don't forget your award.
Our next honoree is Miss Cynthia Dorsey Edwards. Mrs. Edwards. Mrs. Edwards has broken barriers throughout her career as a Texas native. She was the first African American selected as a Heart of Texas Fair Smile Girl, representing the fair in a public relations role. She helped integrate North Texas State University, now the University of North Texas, as one of the first 200 Black students. Throughout her corporate career, she held historic leadership roles at Southwestern Bell and Illinois Bell, including serving as the first African American marketing manager for financial markets in St. Louis. In Georgia, she became the first Black woman to serve as a vice president at DeKalb Technical College, now Georgia Piedmont Tech. A dedicated Rotarian, she was the first Black woman elected president of the Rotary Club of Stone Mountain and will serve as district governor in 2026. At 67, she earned an MBA from the University of West Georgia, proving it's never too late to achieve no goals. Ms. Cynthia Dorsey Edwards.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Congressman, and your selection committee that decided to include me among these awesome women. I congratulate all of you that have been selected. And I just have a few comments to make. First of all, service was something that our parents taught us. As you heard, I'm from Texas. So my mother and father volunteered a lot in the community. And in fact, my mother was chosen the volunteer of the year for the city of Waco when she was 75. I used to think that was old, but I'm close to it. You know, so now we know we still have energy as we get there. God has left us here to serve. And I think about the divisiveness that's in our country right now. You know, with my Christian beliefs, I believe there's a warfare between good and evil. And I think each of us has a responsibility to make decisions every day to help do the good, to overcome the evil. I remember, and I have it on my paper, but I'm not going to read it, but Dr. King's quote, I think most of us know. He says, you don't have to be, to serve. You don't have to be educated. You don't have to have a degree. I'm paraphrasing. But what he said is you have to have a heart to serve. So I want to thank God for giving me that heart, I believe, for giving me skills that I can help other people with. And I want to thank my family. I already mentioned my parents. My sisters, Sandra is here from Texas. Jeannie may be watching from California. My niece Tracy is here. My brother-in-law is here from Waco. I went to school in an all-Black school from 1st through the 12th grade. All my teachers were Black. And while segregation is not the way we want to live our lives, they invested in us. And they made sure we were prepared to live in whatever environment we were in and to be able to succeed. So yes, when I went to an integrated college, I found that I didn't feel inferior. Our teachers had prepared us. So educators are very important. We all know that. My classmates who may be watching, we do a reunion every 2 years. And teachers who are still alive still come with us for a 3-day weekend. So I want to thank everybody, my husband, Lonnie, and my friends who were able to be here and those who couldn't. And I just want to say that all of you have been and will continue to be the wings beneath my, the wind beneath my wings. I'm so nervous. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate this. And God bless you all. Thank you, Candy.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Our next honoree is Mrs. Shelby L. Jackson. Mrs. Shelby L. Jackson is the founding director of the DeKalb County TV/Film, Music, and Digital Entertainment Office, also known as the DeKalb Entertainment Commission. Since its launch, she has overseen a $1.9 million budget, processed over 1,600 film permits application, generating $2 million in revenue, and worked on more than 800 productions. Under her leadership, DeKalb's creative economy was projected by the Atlanta Regional Commission to reach $1.377 billion in economic output by 2023. She helped unify the film administration across DeKalb's 13 cities and unincorporated areas, solidifying the county as a premier entertainment hub. Notable projects filmed in DeKalb include Bad Boys 3, Stranger Things, Ozark, P-Valley, Dynasty, Black Lightning, and Black Widow. Mrs. Jackson Works continues to elevate DeKalb County reputation as a top destination for film, music, and digital entertainment. Mrs. Shelby L. Jackson.
Awesome. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I didn't really do any of that. I had people doing it for me. I appreciate this honor. I really do. I am so humbled by your appreciation of what I do in the community and your beautiful wife. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I do not feel like I belong in this class of people. These beautiful and wonderful women have overcome so many obstacles. I have watched them. They have been my mentors from afar. I know Cynthia from way, way back, and I have always loved you and your character and your spirit. I thank you for all you're doing. Now, I want to say thank you to my family and my cameraman, my husband, the retired Captain Eric Jackson. Thank you so much for all of your support. My sister and my brother are here, and my son is here. We grew up in DeKalb County. We are the product of the beautiful and wonderful DeKalb County. He's Columbia, I'm Lakeside, but it's all good. We family. But I view my role as an advocate for DeKalb County, an advocate specifically for our creative community who are normally not represented well in terms of funding and support. So I also view my role as a public servant. I view it very seriously. I do not want people to remember me for my name. I don't want you to remember me for pictures that I've taken with some celebrity or something. I want you to remember me for my actions, for what I do for this community, because I love DeKalb County. I believe that we are a beacon to the world. Even in the midst of chaos, God is still good. This community is so different from other communities that you may live in, that you may go to. We can bring hundreds of people into a room from different cultures, from different ethnic backgrounds, and we celebrate each other's differences. We celebrate each other's creativity. That is what I love most about DeKalb County. And the industry loves us because you can do all of that here. You can have all of those people here, and you can have all of these different places that you can go. You can go to the mountain, you can go to the beach, you can go to a small town, you can go to a big city, they love it. And you're less than 30 minutes away from the airport. That is why we are one of Georgia and the world's most top 3 places to film and do entertainment. And we draw people from all around the world. And so I'm just grateful to be in the position I'm in. I love it. I'm retired. So I just love doing what I do until I get tired of it. But I appreciate this honor. I really do. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Shelby. And by the way, you got some contacts out there. You think maybe I might have a career in, can you hook me up, maybe, you think? All right, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next honoree is Mrs. Claudette Leak. Mrs. Ms. Leak has dedicated countless hours to public service and leadership as a 54-year resident in DeKalb County, with expertise spanning through government, corporate, and civic sectors. She has held roles as in DeKalb County government, the Georgia Department of Labor, Delta Airlines, and WorldSpan, managing multi-million-dollar operations across multiple states. Appointed to the DeKalb County Charter Review Commission and the Bond Future Funding Committee, she has played a pivotal role in securing $260 million referendum dollars for libraries, transportation, and parks. As executive assistant to DeKalb County's chief operating officer, she helped launch Metro Atlanta's first 311 call center and the home and ethics hotline. Her legislative contributions led to the introduction of HB 815, impacting Georgia's incorporation laws. She has shared insights on government technology and customer service as a contributing author of the International City/County Management Association. A graduate of Leadership DeKalb, Mrs. Leak remained active in several civic organizations, using her expertise to uplift our community. Mrs. Claudette Leak.
My thanks to Congressman Hank Johnson and his staff for including me in this Women's History celebration, along with the other distinguished honorees. I'm just so thrilled to be in the company of such strong women. And, you know, nobody takes this life journey without support. And I have been very blessed to have the support of not only my community, but my family. Half the time, they don't know which meeting I'm in or where I've gone or with whom I'm meeting, but they have always supported what I try to do. And Shelby, as you said, I love DeKalb County. And I do things in the context of a better DeKalb, an enhanced DeKalb, no matter where we are, what part of the county we are in, that's my goal. And I've been very fortunate to be able to partner with other civic organizations and people in the community who have the same goal and objective. And, you know, one of the biggest influences in my life, and I'd like to acknowledge her today, is my mother, Clara Peebles Fort. She was a strong woman, and she taught us to be kind, hardworking, and generous. But the most important thing that she taught us was have mother wit. Now, those of you from the South, you may be familiar with our ancestral mother's term. That's just common sense. And so I keep that in mind when you know, sometimes things can seem so complex. But if you got mother wit, you can get through it in some way. Also today, I would like to acknowledge my family because without their support, no matter what it is, sometimes they have to be my Uber driver, but they help me in any way that they can. So I'm going to acknowledge my husband, John Leak, my son, Brandon Home Team Leak, and his wonderful wife. She's his wife, but she's the daughter I never had. And my son from North Carolina, Chris, he drove in late last night to be here. My sister, Sheila Fort Ray, who drove in a little bit earlier from North Carolina. And my brother, Harold Fort. We have very interesting conversations with us. And a lot of times it turns to politics, but a lot of times it turns to family stuff. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity and for taking time to recognize me today, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Charlene.
You used to live near me.
Oh, where?
Oregon. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Mrs. Susan McGee Crawford. Mrs. Crawford. Mrs. Crawford is a dancer, educator, and community leader dedicated to the performing arts. A principal dancer in her youth, she later opened Susan's Dance Studio at age 21 and founded Trendsetters Dance Company, which has won numerous national awards. She has taught in several school systems and dance studios throughout Georgia and volunteers as a choreographer for Stevenson High School and Berean Christian Church. A former Miss Black International and Miss Black Georgia International, she was recently crowned the 2024 Miss Queens of Pink and received the President's Volunteer Service Award. She holds a Master of Fine Arts in Choreography and actively mentors young dancers. Susan's commitment to education, etiquette training, and community service continues to inspire future generations. Mrs. Susan McGee Crawford.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Congressman Johnson, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. It is a profound honor to accept Congressman Hank Johnson Trailblazer Award. This accolade is not merely a personal achievement, it is a testament to the dedication, resilience, and innovative spirit that defines the collective journey towards progression and inclusion. I wish to express my sincere gratitude to Congress Hank Johnson for his exceptional leadership and steadfast commitment to championing trailblazers who challenged the status quo. His vision has inspired countless individuals to pursue excellence and to effect meaningful change in their fields. I would also like to extend a heartfelt thanks to my family, friends, mentors, and colleagues. Their unwavering support and guidance have been integral to my journey, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth and achievement. Congratulations to all these amazing trailblazers. Thank you for this distinguished recognition. I'm deeply honored, and I will remain committed to advancing our shared vision of progress, empowerment, and excellence. And as I leave you all today, I would like to paraphrase the words of that old familiar song. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody they are traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Susan.
Our next honoree is Dr. Sharita Ali McTire. She's an educator, author, and advocate with more than 22 years of experience in DeKalb County schools. She has served as a teacher, administrator, and coordinator, earning the title of DeKalb County School District 2023-2024 Educational Support Professional of the Year. A published academia, she has received Georgia State University's Social Foundation's Doctoral Achievement Award in 2019. She is an active breast cancer advocate as a member of Nurse Rose McIver's Breast Cancer Support Group and a director of Pink Divas United Incorporated. A firm believer in purpose-driven leadership, Dr. McIntyre's mission is to inspire excellence and service in others. Dr. McIntyre.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much, Congressman Hank Johnson, and to your wonderful staff for this distinguished honor. Thank you to all of the honorees. It's just a privilege to be here. I must praise God. I'll give all praises to the Most High God. I am so grateful for this honor, but I stand on the shoulder of giants. When you see me, you don't see those others who have blazed the trails before me. So I must honor those who have blazed trails before me and continue to blaze trails with me. So I first honor my parents, Samuel and Betty McTire. They are my heroes and my inspiration. I honor my family, my brother Samuel, his wife Akila, my sister Sabrina, my nieces and nephews, Samuel IV, Endure, Grace, and Savannah, my love, Jermaine Hunley and his mother, Frances Hunley, my sisters and best friends, Nicole George, Chantel Turner, Dr. Kim C. Williams, and my mentor and advocate, Sherry Adams and Dr. Michael Adams. My mentors, Melba Lett, Dr. Joyce E. King, Dr. Janice Fernillier, Dr. Astrid Shover, Dr. Camilla Davis, Nurse Rose McKeever. These are people who have poured into me to make me who I am today. And to the leaders, educators, families, parents, and brilliant students of DeKalb County School District, who I have had the honor to serve for the past 22 years, I say thank you for pouring into me and allowing me to pour into you. It has been my purpose in all of the areas of my influence to add value, embody love, and inspire excellence. Because when you do that for a child and an adult, you can positively impact their future, which then has a ripple effect for generations on the community. And as a breast cancer survivor, I praise God, and I'm a living witness that God restores. So I must remind and encourage each one of you to know that you are here for a reason. You have a purpose. You matter. So make sure you walk boldly in your purpose in life. Make sure you prioritize your health and your well-being. Stay up to date with your health screenings and listen to your body when it tells you that something is wrong. Go and get checked out immediately. Don't be frozen by fear. And when you go and get checked out, if you feel like you're not being heard, I empower you to continue to advocate for yourself and enlist others to advocate with you and for you. When it comes to the well-being of you and our community, we meet resistance with persistence. That's how we win, and that's how we move forward. So as long as you are breathing, keep believing, because there is help and there is hope. Thank you, and God blessings on all of you.
Thank you, Sarita. Yeah, you sure you didn't leave anybody out now, right? She got everybody in there. All right. And plus, we're all pumped up now after hearing from Sarita, right? Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. Our next honoree is Miss India Pullen. Miss India Pullen. Miss India Pullen is a lifelong community advocate, entrepreneur, and political leader. She previously owned the Rich Beauty Salon and Golden Broom Cleaning Service before dedicating herself to public service. In 1998, she became a council assistant at Atlanta City Hall, later attending the DeKalb Neighborhood Leadership Institute and leading its alumni association for many years. She founded Step Up in Georgia, Incorporated, a nonprofit that provides food programs and home improvement projects for veterans and seniors. A recipient of the 2013 CEO Burl Ellis Community Hero Award, she has also served on the board of directors for the Greater Piney Grove Baptist Church, CDC, implementing several community projects in the Atlanta and East Lake neighborhoods. India is also an accomplished writer, co-authoring and producing stage plays with new works set to debut in 2025. Miss India Pullen.
Thank you. I am so silly, and I'm trying to hold back what my family said before I left the table, but my hashtag is in my mind. You all would not believe the things that go on in there. So that's how I came about writing comedy stage plays. But what I want to say is that I thank God for my life. I thank him for making me a servant. I thank my family and close friends who have been here every step of the way with me. I have one daughter who loves to point out that she's the only girl. And I'll call and say, this is going, Mama, what you doing now? And that is my life. I tried to sit down, but it didn't happen. I started embracing this, I would say, indivisible community that are people that work hard, keep a roof over their family heads, and live for the weekend. I started going out with them, hanging out in the parks, and mostly men, helping them get VA benefits, Social Security, leading them to where the food distributions were, helping with energy assistance and all of these things. And now this whole population of them and their families, they're now voters. They had every reason in the world. I'm on paper. I don't want to serve as jury duty. And one guy told him, I said, baby, you ain't got to worry. They're not going to select you anyway. So we have to reach people where they are. So I go out on it all the time and have fun with these people. And then I come back and I break bread with the stiff people. Get the joke?
If I'm not
But I love what I do. And what I would like to say is that this is the climate right now that we can go out and educate our children with financial literacy and to make them understand the power of a vote. Because this is no longer a black and brown issue. This is an everybody issue because they are just crazy. And we've got to change things. And the only way we can change what's going on in the government is with our vote. So reach somebody, go out, meet them, and we can change the world. Last, I'd like to say thank you, Congressman Johnson, and all of his staff, I love them, for seeing me. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, we see India pulling. We've been seeing you for a long time.
Our next honoree is Florence Battle Shafiq, MD. Florence Battle Shafiq, MD, is a trailblazing physician and leader in healthcare, recognized as the first African-American woman to graduate from the University of Iowa Carver College of Medicine. She has served as medical director for Humana Health Plan, Morehouse School of Medicine, and the U.S. Military Health System, overseeing operations across 3 states and Puerto Rico. She later became senior medical director for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. A dedicated mother and community advocate, she is an active member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And she balances her career with a love of travel, sports, and cultural events while remaining deeply engaged in her faith and service. Ladies and gentlemen, Florence Battle Shafiq, MD.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I would like to thank you, Congressman Hank Johnson, affectionately known as Hank to me, and Marita, and the staff. I am so deeply honored to be amongst these honorees here today. And with, as my pastor would say, with the remaining minutes that I have left, I was specifically told that I, of all the honorees, I have 1 minute to 2 minutes to express my appreciation. One of the questions that was asked of us is, who inspired you, who supported you as you develop your career? And I must say, as many of you have said, it was segregated when I graduated from high school. But after 2 weeks of being in my biology class at Cole College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, that had less than 1% Black population for the full state, my biology teacher took me across the street to the hospital where 5 Black doctors were on staff. And the rest is history. The next person who was inspirational at that time is my father. After 2 years of being in Iowa, I said, Daddy, I must come home. I do not see enough of my people. He said, no, you're not coming home. You're going to stay there, and the rest is history. I, too, like everyone else, wish to thank my family for being here today. They deleted my comments where it said, I have 2 daughters, but they have been my support through these years, and they've married these strong men, and I give them their support. But one of those men's mother, excuse me, is on staff. She's executive director, as Congressman has said, for the office, for the state, for the district. So I have this extended family. I have a very large family as well. So I wish to thank them. Many of them have commitments already on board for today. So without any further ado, I continue to say thank you.
Thank you. So now y'all know why we told her only 2 minutes.
Our next honoree is Dr. Charlene Spurlock. Dr. Spurlock is an educator, mentor, and advocate dedicated to empowering students and educators in DeKalb County for 25 years. She serves as a work-based learning coordinator and has held leadership roles including career technical and agriculture education department chair and senior class sponsor. A recipient of Georgia's WBL Top Gun Award, Teacher of the Month, and two-time Teacher of the Year nominee. She has been recognized for her excellence in education. She is a published academic and longtime literary advocate, founding in education, excuse me. She is a published academic and longtime literary advocate, founding the book club Divas Read Too. Dr. Spurlock also serves the community through ministry, mentorship, and scholarship programs. Passionate about travel and cultural enrichment, she founded CDS Designation to inspire global exploration. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Charlene Spurlock.
Everyone, thank you for this honor. And just like one of the previous recipients stated, I'm like, why am I here? But God. I am very grateful to be one of the Trailblazers. I'm here because of the countless women who have shaped my journey, and I would like to acknowledge a few of them. My mother, Geraldine James Hickman, entered college for the very first time in the late 60s at 35 years of age, with 4 elementary daughters in grade school. Everyone on the campus at Southern University in Baton Rouge thought she was a faculty member. My mother said she was inspired by Dr. King's speech, "I have a dream." She refused to take public assistance. Another person who inspired me is a college friend, Sharon Robinson, who's also being recognized as we speak as a trailblazer in Woodville, Mississippi. She's the very first female and first Black mayor of Woodville, Mississippi. Both of us earned our first degree later in life as mothers. She bringing her only child on campus in a stroller, and I'm pregnant with my only child, Asa. We both went on to earn additional degrees and achievements. I also like to thank my sisters, my Irish twin sister, Melanie, who has an upcoming birthday on Friday. She taught me the importance of saving and investing. My sister, Chandra, who has a strong faith in God, and she always stressed to pray on everything. And my baby sister, Kim, who always sees the best in everyone and loves people unconditionally. I would also like to thank my husband of 37 years, Ray Spurlock, and our son, King Asa. I named him Asa after 2 Chronicles because I say in this world, we're gonna need God. And Asa means God is with us. I would like to thank and acknowledge my niece, Kimberly, and goddaughter for her support, my niece, Portia, for her support, and my colleague, Ms. LaKimberly Williams, who is here today. I send thanks to Congressman Hank Johnson and his staff, Mr. Eric Hubbard, and the other staff members. I didn't know that my former student, 10 years, I taught her 10 years ago, Kelly French, and I said, well, did Kelly nominate me for this award? But thank you, guys. I also like to borrow a quote from my cousin Jamie. Let my ceiling be your floor. I will close with the benediction words of my pastor, Dr. Pastor Jamal Bryan. Lift up your hands at as high as you can see yourself going. Walk with God, and he will walk with you. Talk to God, and he will talk to you. Build for God, and he will build for you. Love God, because he first loved you. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene. And I was looking over here at Charlene's table, and I thought I was seeing quadruple or something, because all of the females look like Charlene at the table. So y'all take after your mother or your father? Your father. Both? Yeah. All right. I won't go any further into that. Okay.
All right, our next honoree is Miss Sandy Percat. Miss Sandy Percat. Miss Sandy Percat is a retired federal investigator for the U.S. Department of Education, Office for Civil Rights. She has dedicated her life to helping students achieve academic excellence on the national, state, and local levels. It's in her local efforts that Mrs. Percat has shined as the founder and coordinator for Pilot, Preparing Innovative Leaders of Tomorrow, a program based out of her beloved, the great Redan High School. Known effectively by students as Mama P, she has helped countless students achieve their dream of attending college. Since 2005, she has helped 11 students receive the Bill Gates Millennium Scholarships, a $26,000 a year scholarship. And in 2012, a student earned a Posse Scholarship to Stafford University. After her son, Billy, a 1999 graduate and drum major at Redan, was tragically killed in a car accident in 2000, she established the William E. Percat II Memorial Scholarship to ensure her son's legacies marches on. Miss Sandy Percat.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
everyone. I thank you so very much for this opportunity. For those who love me, I'm known as Sandy P. While kids and the others who have that special touch, they call me Mama P. Thanks, Congressman Johnson, so very much, Eric, Candace, and the crew for putting up with me and my slow self and trying to get all these things together. But I had a situation that delayed me more than ever. I come to you today and I'm not at my best. For I don't ask you for forgiveness, but I ask you for tolerance. Where I'm not as strong as I usually am and as myself, but I'm planning to cope and deal with things the best I can physically. I have a primary goal, and that is to be thankful for this car, this walker. But I do plan to put it in the garage very soon. On February the 1st, 2025, my hemoglobin was such a low point that it was below normal, and it became alarming to everybody. I had to have blood transfusions because no one could figure out where the blood was going, with the exception of clogging in both legs and both lungs. Somehow, though, God saw through all of this and decided to save my life. And along with that, I have a little girl that I love so dearly, my Dee. She made sure that I was going to be obedient at least this time. And if it was not for her and God, I wouldn't be here with you today. But I'm here, and I want to make you know and understand that I intend to stay.
All right.
I am very appreciative of the recognition. I put these idiot notes down so I wouldn't forget the important points. I'm very appreciative of the recognition as I feel that it places me in the category of some of the most powerful and phenomenal Black women trailblazers that we have overlooked. As a kid who did not have a lot of parental encouragement growing up in Brooklyn, I consider myself fortunate to be in this place today. Early on, I decided that regardless of the lack of support from parental areas, I had to follow the act of what I considered a very strong Black woman, alderman, who fought against rent control in Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn. That's where I grew up. I had to go to my own PTA meetings because nobody went there for me. So now I work hard in the PTA. I signed myself up for Wingate High School, which was predominantly Jewish and known as the Banjo School for those who had more affluent income than I ever did. I wanted to be able to follow women who did not have to worry about bringing their own chairs and seats to the table. This mentor that was fortunate for me to be on the stage with at my junior high school graduation, which I was there by myself, was Shirley Chisholm. Unbought, unbossed. I wanted to recognize a couple of people who were also Black mentors, and that would be in my area, and that's Madam C.J. Walker and others. They continued to trail and make sure that the blaze that they trailed was high. I relate to these mentors like my grandmother Maggie Sawyer, who fought for Blacks in every area and was the strongest Black woman that I know. She was my life and became my future. Today, I give my best because of God and Grandma Maggie. As I think of the blazing trail, I think of another mentor, James Weldon Johnson. He wrote The Creation, and as I paraphrase, when God stepped out on space, he looked around and he saw that the earth was dark and barren. On one side, there was darkness and light on the other side. So he took the light in his hands and he rolled the light around in his hands until he made the sun. And he set the sun ablazing in the heavens. And that light, ladies and gentlemen, I feel strongly was meant for me so that I could see the trail that I needed to blaze. I have done my best to make sure that education, regardless of anyone who has orange hair, continues to live on. As I was a very strong federal agent in the Office of Civil Rights, Department of Education. I am a retired federal investigator, very proud of my work. And no matter what anyone does, if they close the office down, they won't close me down. I have a goal, as I said, to get rid of this medical support. But having the support of my people and the friends that I have, the young ladies, especially back there who are like my daughters to me, I appreciate everything. And like Whitney Houston would say in her song, and I'll captivate on this, I'll always love you. I add my version to it. I'll always love you madly. Sandy P.
Thank you, Sandy P. Sandy P for U.S. Congress, y'all. Give it up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next honoree and our final honoree for today is Rachel Ziegler. Rachel Ziegler is a respected leader in education, having served the DeKalb County School District for 37 years. As a regional superintendent, she has mentored principals and advanced key district initiatives. Previously, she spent a decade as principal of Margaret Traditional Theme School, earning recognition as a high-performing principal for the state of Georgia. She was also nominated as a National Distinguished Principal candidate for District 4 of the State of Georgia Association of Elementary School Principals. Her leadership continues to inspire students, educators, and the broader community. Ms. Rachel Ziegler.
Hank Johnson, thank you so very much. I don't know who nominated me, but whoever did, thank you for thinking of me. I am humbled and honored, and I'm retired. So those trails being blazed, you think, have cooled down. But I'm going to start off with thanking the people at my table, because we have phases in life. I did 37 years as an educator, but I'm always an educator. Once an educator, I do believe you're honored and it comes from you. And so one of the things I know that we don't walk into a room alone, and I don't walk alone. Everything that we experience, everybody in here, everything you've experienced, everyone who's loved you, who's not loved you, everyone who's raised you or not raised you, everyone who's not seen you, impacts who you are and how you are. I want to thank my parents, grandparents, parents who loved me and raised me, who motivated me and said I was enough. I want to thank my brothers and sisters who let me lead and trailblaze from the very beginning, Leroy Roston and my brother Gene and my sister Lydia. I want to thank my family who is here, my husband of 44 years, who's retired Lieutenant Colonel George Ziegler and is the wind beneath my wings. He gives me enough rope, and I try not to hang myself with it. But I appreciate the freedom. I always tell them there's a song, you can dance with anyone at all as long as you come home to me. I always come home. But he lets me go, which is a blessing. At the table, I have Miss Carleen Cumberbatch, and if you all don't know Miss Carleen Cumberbatch, she is the reason we are sitting in the Lou Walker Center here today. Many, many years ago, she and my mother were best of friends and moved from New York. And my mother was on the first line dancing team they had before the building was built when they were trying to get a senior center. They used to have to go away to College Park to go to the senior center. And she and Lou Walker worked hard to get this building here, and it is loved. And you have definitely left a landmark, but she's definitely a family person and somebody who's inspired me to be a trailblazer, another educator and my sorority sister as well. I have my sister, my cafeteria manager from Margaret Theme School, which was the best 10 years of my life. We put a generation of children out, Lillian Smith, and where's Miss Belinda? The food was good. That lady can cook. If she said your food is good, it's good, okay? But anyway, Lily and I are sisters. We raised a generation of children at Margaret Theme School. And my kids, my gift that never stops giving, has given me a friend. That little lady standing there was a grandparent to one of my children. And now she's my adopted godmother. And one of her little grandson, well, I call him my knucklehead, is an engineer. I have another knucklehead who's an intellectual properties lawyer, at Fulton County right now. So our kids, we put out good product. At Margaret Theme School, you didn't have to be the smartest, but you had to work hard. And there's a lot to be said for working hard. In this room also, as we go through phases of life, I'm in my next phase of life. I'm currently working with the voter education. In fact, I start training tomorrow to be a trainer in the voter education. And that God revealed that to me, my next phase, which I knew he would. And so I'm also working with my homeowners association. I have Miss Gloria Lee, who's our secretary and has been an ace in the whole for me. So she's a new friend. I also play tennis. Says keeping active. Somebody said about keeping active, and you got to move. That's one thing. We have to keep moving. And my good sister friend there, Deborah, who's become my traveling partner. Those are the people at my table. I want to thank in particular this person you would not know, but like I said, things happen to you that cause you to move forward one way or the other. And I grew up in New York. We had, at that time, it was called tracking. And I got caught up into that and was put in a bottom track class from 2nd grade to 7th grade. And I had a teacher, and she was a Jewish lady, Miss Ella Cohen. And I'm in class doing everything. She said, "What are you doing in here?" Because at that time, they didn't have processes for special education. They just dumped everybody. Anybody who didn't do, couldn't see, whatever, was in this class, okay? The blessing, my mother was a teacher. So when I went home, that's when I got my lessons. But anyway, she saw me. She saw me. Thank God she saw me. And she took me, I told her my story that I've been given an IQ test or whatever, and I didn't do well. And they put me in this class. And my mother was a teacher. My father was a police officer, detective in New York. They would not take me out. And she went down to the counselor's office and took me out and put me in the top track. I graduated 6th in my high school class, Syracuse University, University of Georgia, Georgia State, West Georgia. I helped bring elementary counseling into DeKalb County. Did most of my career in DeKalb County. Lonnie Edwards, one of my mentors there, sitting right there before me. And I say that to change the trajectory because I became an advocate, and that's what I consider myself. I'm an advocate for children. I have fought parents about their children because somebody saw me and moved me. It made me go. And my background is special education. I've taught everything but the deaf and the blind. But all of that works toward anybody. I'm an advocate. I'm a pusher. I will fight you over some kids. Don't mess with children. And so that is my advocacy. I will continue to do that. Like Miss Lady back there who's, oh my gosh, I miss her so much. Her voice, I hope you've inspired so many people. She used to give us the blues at the board office, the blues at Redan, but I loved it. I loved it because she wasn't afraid to speak up. And that's what we have to do. Speak when you need to speak and have that advocacy. But I tell you, being an advocate for children, you always have to look at what's best. What can they do? Everybody has a gift. And if you make sure you look for it and find it, children can go and be. And so I thank God for Miss Cohen who saw me and moved me and allowed me to be Rachel Ziegler. I'm known in this community. I love this community. I love DeKalb County. I will advocate for anybody's kids. When they came to me, I told them I would treat you like they're mine, and I did. And so that's the blessing. I am so, 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 so honored. And all of these wonderful women, we have a lot to give. We still have more to give. And I hope we've inspired any of you. In this time, the only thing I'm going to leave you with is Dwayne Dwyer. I don't know if anybody used to watch. I'm a PBS nut. The Power of Intention. And one of the things I take from him in everything, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay? So if you sit with that for a little bit, even in this bad times, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So what I'm looking for a black Amazon. I'm looking for a black whatever, whatever, whatever. So we don't have to be dependent on anybody else to do what we need to do, okay? So it may be a bad thing on this end, but what's the good we can do with it? That's the motivation. Thank you. Thank you for the evening, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody, I implore you, stay away, stay out of Rachel Ziegler's way. Don't get in the way. Have we had fun this afternoon, y'all? Yeah, I certainly have. And I mentioned at the beginning of my remarks that I'm looking around the room, I see a number of women who have been instrumental in who I am today. And I'm looking over here at Carlene Cumberbatch, who, along with Brenda Jackson over here, they gave me a lot of grief. They beat me down from Panola Road to Wesley Chapel. And then I'm looking at Jennifer French Parker back there, who beat me down across South DeKalb with the newsletter. But they beat me down in such a way that I'm who I am today. So I appreciate y'all. And by the way, Carlene Cumberbatch is responsible for the Lou Walker Center because, you know, she was one of those who were Lou Walker's, I call them henchmen. But no, they were not going to, it was going to be a senior citizen center in South DeKalb, and they made sure that that it happened. So give it up for Carlene Cumberbatch. I want to thank all of the honorees for everything that they have done to merit the recognition that they have received from us today. I want to recognize my staff for putting on this event today. They do an excellent job with everything that they do. I want to thank the performers, the woman with the pipes, Aria. The man with the silver tongue, Melvin Miller. DeKalb 4th Congressional District Poet Laureate, Hank Stewart. Y'all give it up for Belinda's Catering. All of the volunteers who assisted today, thank y'all so much. And last but not least, in case you forgot, I want to thank my wife for 45 years. Huh? Do what? Oh, okay, all right. My wife told me to call my staff by name. But I'm not gonna, my niece told me that my wife told her to tell. But I'm gonna just, staff, raise your hands. Everybody on staff. Thank y'all so much. And, you know, it was Mama P that talked about the orange that seems to be all over the place. And, you know, we've had fun today. This is kind of like coming in from the storm, being amongst family, being in a safe place, and everybody coming together and feeling free to say whatever is on their minds. But we've entered a period, ladies and gentlemen, that we can't take that freedom for granted, because there are people who are being oppressed and persecuted and some prosecuted for what they have said or what they have done in the past. This is where we are now with our democracy in this country. the freedom that we take for granted is on the chopping block. Anytime you can declare that it's a war between the US and Venezuela, and then use that as a pretext to go and round up every Venezuelan that you can find on the street, regardless of whether or not they are documented or undocumented. Sweep them up, put them on a plane, and take them to a nation that they've never known before, El Salvador. Harsh, inhumane conditions. Did you see how they were leading those men off of the plane and then getting haircuts and shaving their beards and then putting them in the jail cells? Did y'all see that? Those men were very compliant. They were full of fear. Don't you think so? Something had happened to one or more of them along that journey that was a message to the other ones that you don't want that to happen to you, so therefore you act like you're acting. Do you understand what I'm saying? We don't know what happened, but use your common sense and you can imagine the terror that those people, some of whom are documented and others undocumented, have gone through. And it's all a pretext that we're in a war with Venezuela. No such thing. And then when taken to court, a judge ruled that you cannot use that law to deport these people to a land that they've never known. The law says you deport folks back to where they came from. So they were wrong on deporting them in the first place and then to where they deported them to. And the judge said, you can't do that. Stop the planes, turn the planes around and bring those folks back. And do you know what the king did? He kept going and even had one additional plane to take off in defiance of the court's order. So that's what we are looking at, a decision that I'm not going to follow the law. I'm above the law. So if you can do that to them, then what can you do to us? This is where we are now in this country. And I notice after talking with or being a part of a number of protest movements, that it's always the women who are the multitude. It's the women who are leading the charge to protest and resist this kind of creeping authoritarianism that is upon us and threatens to choke us, to choke the lifeblood of democracy and freedom and liberty out of our system. And so we can't depend on the legislative branch to do anything about it because they are all in favor of the orange guy. They are so afraid that they'll do anything that he says. And then the courts are our only, the courts give us cause for hope, right? But it was the highest court of the land that less than a year ago gave this orange guy complete and thorough immunity from prosecution for official acts while president. So he's doing whatever he wants to do, knowing that he won't get prosecuted for it. And then the only other remedy is impeachment, conviction, and removal for office, and he knows he doesn't have to face that. So now here we are with a case like this one that I just talked about. There's over 130 cases challenging administration action in the courts. But let's say this case about defiance of the district court order to turn those planes around and bring these people back, let's say that is appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court. And let's say that the Supreme Court, having recognized the error of their ways, decides to go against the one who has packed the court with a 6-3 supermajority. If they should choose to adhere to the Constitution and the rule of law and tell the president that we affirm the decision of the district court judge, then if the president says, okay, well, I'm still not going to bring them folks back. I'll bring them back when I get ready. Where will we be then? That is the death of democracy at that particular point, and we're very close to it. So because we can't depend, and so we can't depend on the legislature, we can't depend on the judiciary to salvage freedom and democracy. Who do we have left? Ladies and gentlemen, it is us. We the people. We the people are the ones who created this country, and we're the ones who are going to save it. So as we leave, it's so important that each one of us decides that this is something that's worth fighting for, and that we join the ranks of those who are in resistance. Find a way, as John Lewis used to say, to get in the way. When you see something wrong, do something about it. Get into some trouble, some good trouble, some necessary trouble. And he would say, stay the course, keep the faith, keep your eye on the prize. And he would tell us that even though we came over here on different ships, we're in the same boat now. That means all of us, regardless of color. And he would say, keep the faith. Don't give up, don't give in, don't give out. Keep the faith. Keep your eye on the prize. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will conclude my remarks. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. And enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, Congressman. And honorees, we're going to have official photos immediately following in the back with the Congressman. We asked if all the 11 honorees will come to the back with your award. You're going to see the backdrop that says Congressman Hank Johnson. We're going to do photos with the honorees. And afterwards, if the family would like to take pictures, please feel free to do so. Thank you all for coming. Have a great weekend.